Welcome to 1 Million Cups Dallas. Thank you for attending. It's also Dallas Startup Week, so we're really excited to be having 1 Million Cups in this space. It's good to see everybody. How many first timers do we have here? Wow, that's good. Awesome. And how did you find out about us because of Dallas Startup Week?
Yes.
Mostly? Okay, fantastic. Good. So I am going to be the MC for today, and I'm going to share with you exactly what 1 Million Cups is about. 1 Million Cups is an organization that was created by the Kauffman Foundation out of Missouri. And the reason why it started was because the people that were working for the Kauffman Foundation wanted to connect with more entrepreneurs. And they really couldn't count on their hands, on both hands, how many entrepreneurs they each knew. So they came up with this concept, well, why don't we get a group of people together, we'll have people present, and we'll do it over coffee. And so the idea was, well, let's have 1 million conversations over 1 million cups of coffee. There's a good chance that we're close to that 1 million cups mark now because the organization has expanded and it's now in about 176 communities throughout the United States. And there's an aggressive plan to be in 500 cities before the end of this year, which is super exciting. There are also a couple locations throughout the Metroplex, so they're also in Frisco and in Fort Worth. And so we would love for you to get on the app as well. We've got an app. It's a great place to see who maybe you didn't meet and connect that way as well and check in whenever you attend. So how are we going to run the show today? We have 2 presenters. Each one will have 6 minutes to present their business, so they're going to be storytelling and sharing their business with you, and then we'll have 15 minutes of question and answer, so you are all welcome to put your hand up and we will run the Q&A. We'll have somebody, Devin will be with the microphone, and please wait for him to get to you so you can ask your question. We want to pick up everything on the video. Before we get started, I do have to make another quick announcement. We do not have any parking in the back of this building. So if you have parked here in this lot, you will need to move your car because you will be towed. It's for designated staff in this building only. So with that said, I'd like to get started. Our first presenter's name is Mala, and she's with her business partner, Paul, who is also her husband. So I love this team effort and changing the world with their business Crash My Table. We welcome Mala and Paul to the stage with a round of applause. We stand up in Dallas and we clap our hands for them. Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome to Crash My Table. My name is Paul.
My name is Mala, and we are the creators of Crash My Table. Well, Crash My Table is a tech-free way to turn public spots into friendship generators. There are 2 ways that we can do Crash My Table. One is you can place a Crash My Table, table 10, on your table and wait for someone to join you. Or, as my husband always does, he takes his Crash My Table, table 10, and if he sees someone sitting alone, he goes up to them and says, hey, can I join you? So Crash My Table can be done in different locations. We have coffee shops, we have fast food restaurants, we can go to schools, we can go to universities, expos, and businesses. Crash My Table gives people the ability to create new friendships. It can also give you one of life's very valuable skill. That's like changing strangers into friends. So we are really, really into that. And then one of the goals for Crash My Table is for us to create 1 million new friendships over the next 12 months. You may have seen on the news, there's been a lot of attention focusing on social media and how social media can have a negative effect on your mental health. And there is also American sociological review that states that the number of Americans that have no friends to confide in has tripled over the last 20 years.
And the Harvard did a study, their longest study. It's actually one of the largest studies done by a college, Harvard, 80-year study, and they concluded that study that The number one thing that determines success is your relationships. And they said you live longer and you are happier with relationship. The US surgeon came out and said isolation is an epidemic. Then there's the three companies we all know very well, Microsoft, Apple, and Google were all started by strangers that came together and created friendships. Their three companies alone, their friendships have created $2.2 trillion worth of wealth. Another study was done by Birmingham University that says isolation actually is a problem and causes premature death. There is, in America right now, there's over 200, or close to 250 million Americans that are over the age of 18. This is our target audience. So one of the ways that we're going to make money is we're actually going to sell the Crash My Table tent. Two things about it is one, we've trademarked it, and two, we've put a patent pending on some of the processes that are going behind the, I'll talk about how we're making money, and we've actually put a patent pending on that. So anyone over 18 is kind of our target audience. We are going to target high school kids too. We're also going to accessorize the table tents with profile balls. These balls are going to be put on top of your table tent to let someone know about you. So the green ball might say, hey, I love pets. So it's a real quick, non-tech way to let someone know when you're in public, a little bit about you. We're going to have gamification with the ability to earn achievement points. So example, someone does Crash My Table 5 times, they get the high-five achievement. We will sell them the pins that they can attach right to the Crash My Table, so it's a great conversation starter. We'll have a diversity achievement. If you crash a table with more than 3 or 4 cultures, you would earn the right to get the diversity achievement pin. So this is going to be fun to add the different diversifications. We can have one for 3, like if you go to 3 countries and do Crash My Table. So we're excited about adding that. One of the other ways we're going to be doing revenue not only by selling the Crash My Table tents, not only with the accessory, but we're also going to create a CMT restaurant guide. So restaurants that buy into the importance of making friendships in public spots. So we will have a revenue model from them. We'll also have a revenue from doing this with high schools and businesses. We'll license it to businesses and also high schools to be able to do it. Some of the things about the future is we are going to create a reward and point system. One of the things I can't stand is multi-level marketing, but we're actually going to create multi-level marketing with friendship. So as we do our Crash My Table, the table tents are going to have numbers on it. We're going to have those numbers registered uniquely to people's emails. And if they encourage people to do Crash My Table, they're going to earn points and rewards. We are working with sponsors right now for free trips, some really cool gifts. As CMT or Crash My Table and the 1 million new friendship movement picks up, we're going to see a lot more sponsors come in. What we say is that every new friendship that we add into the world adds peace, joy, and happiness. So we always say, crash a table, make a friend, and help the world. Thank you. Questions?
Oh yeah, thank you so much. Here at 1 Million Cups, the first question that we do like to open with is, what can we as a community do for you?
Thank you. We're so blessed to be able to present today. So we thank you for coming and actually being part of the Startup Week this week. Where we're at right now, we're going to launch Kickstarter next week. So we're going to actually build momentum and exposure through Kickstarter. So please, we have let me get to our web address, all our web information. So we're going to direct the Crash My Table to the Kickstarter. So we'll do a redirect. So if you type Crash My Table, go right to the Kickstarter. So please check next week. We got some cool prizes and backer rewards. So that's what we're going to do. So getting behind us. If you believe in us, support it.
Awesome, thank you so much. And for you guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and just raise your hand and I'll come to you.
Wow, really neat idea. I guess the first thing that came to my mind though is, how do you prevent copycats? How do you prevent everyone else from doing this and cutting into your revenue?
That was the first question. We're like, what questions are going to ask us? That's the first one. A couple of things is, one, the table tents. I'm cool. If someone tries to copy this and mimic us, fine. I'm happy. Okay. We do have the trademark. We're going to, and we put a patent. So we've actually patented the whole process of the table tent, the point system, Now, when I say patent pending, what the patent office will give us, that's a different thing. But at least I don't have to have you guys all sign an NDA right now because I put that out there. So the point system, the profile balls on top, so all that's been included in the patent pending. So and then we're going to have unique numbers. So the unique numbers are going to be, we will control that at our company. So if you want to participate in the achievements and also the points, that they'll have to be using ours.
You said, I'm sorry. You said I think I heard you that you're interested in diversity in schools, right? Well, in my case, I have a band and everything we do is music for causes, positive messages. And we are right now we have a concert of September with Montessori School, which is all about diversity. But we're trying to put actually a line of concerts throughout the year and next year. And we have a guitar center that's interested in joining us. Would you guys be interested in partnering with a project like this? Basically, we're going, you know at universities, colleges. It's all for education and promoting diversity. Would you guys be interested in participating, and how would that be happening?
Yeah, we would definitely, talked about that. As you know, when you're starting a business, we put a lot of time into, especially the Kickstarter. We'll be living and breathing that for a month while that's on. But we're definitely, one of the things that we're doing that we didn't put in our slide deck, that on the tents, 50 cents. My wife is from South Africa. She's literally seen people starve to death on the street dead. And so what we want to do is for every name tent CMT sold, we are contributing 50 cents to help impoverished children around the world through food and water programs. The diversity programs, we're excited to see where high schools are going to go with this. Having the diversity achievement, they can do it in the high school, the diversity achievement award in high school, in businesses, so we can do this in the corporate world. So we're definitely, whatever we can get involved with. It just, the next couple weeks is our time's going to be pretty, packed, but yeah, we can talk.
Okay, thank you.
My name's Chad. I love the idea, by the way, so this is totally a noble cause. My business is Strategic Connecting, so totally same believer. I think we're all built for community. My question is around how this layers into the business offerings. So tell me what the experience from a consumer, or I guess diner perspective would be when I enter a restaurant and they've partnered with you on Crash My Table.
Well, when they partner us, so one of the revenue models we'll have is having a Crash My Table revenue, or Crash My Table guide. So if someone's like, man, I want to do Crash My Table today, but I don't have one of these, what restaurants can they go into? Restaurants can do a couple things. They can either give one of these away, or they could actually, almost like a loan, hey, I'll loan it to you while you're not in the restaurant. The restaurants we're looking for are diners or coffee shops. We're not looking at the restaurants that are sitting you, because it's gonna be a little tougher to do. It's the restaurants that you come in, fast food. I love Cane's. Cane's is one of my favorite restaurants. Is going into one of those places, and so that will, having the restaurants being able to have these, so someone can like, hey, I want to do Crash My Table, I heard about this, but I don't have one of these, they can go into our directory, and it'll cost, we'll charge them to be part of our directory.
So it's all handled digitally then?
What's that?
It's all handled digitally then?
That will be handled digitally, but the actual Crash My Table is non-tech, the people come.
Okay, thanks. Now we got one on the side here.
Hi. Can you take us behind the reasoning of doing it non-tech? Because you said, I might not have this. I'll tell you what everybody else does have as they walk wherever they go is this. So why not put your table tent right on here as you walk in and say, hey, you Crash My Table, there are 4 people here, so-and-so is here.
Yeah, great question. The non-reason, or the non-tech reason, is there is apps out there. My friend has had apps on Apple says, hey, I want to meet a friend within a mile. Okay, there's apps out there. This is at a point, this is a point of reference. I'm here, I'm inside a restaurant. And another thing with the phone is you can't see it. So you have to set it up somehow to be able to see it. So the Crash My Table, it's kind of like the opposite of do not disturb on your hotel. You could see it. You're not going to hang your phone outside the door. So the Crash My Table is a real easy way to let people know visually that, hey, come and see. Could you do it? Could you do it technology-wise? You could do it technology-wise, but we are, like I said, this is what we're bringing to the table. You know, later, you know, we want to have a leaderboard, you know, on our website that says, okay, you know, what city is doing Crash My Table the most? What gender is doing it more? You know, so we will have some tech part app that will drive or be part of it, but we're not leading. The non-tech is what we're leading with.
Hello. Great pitch, by the way. Right now, it sounds like it's restaurants are the core partnership. Have you thought about kind of big picture, other kind of settings this would work in? I can just think of just from a dating bar situation, something similar to this to have that kind of ability to tell people that I'm ready to talk or back up. So have you thought about that? I mean, restaurant sounds like the first phase, but maybe thinking about strategies with event planners or maybe, like I said, maybe dating companies.
We're also thinking about expos and businesses. So I think dating would, because lots of people want to do face-to-face. I mean, everything now is done online, and that's how I met my husband, online. But I guess there are certain dating places that you can go to, I guess restaurants that hold up singles meetings and stuff like that. So I think that will also be really great. You know, just put it up there, and then I guess no pressure, so someone can just come up to you and sit and talk. And so yeah, that's a great idea.
And with
Thank
the
you.
profile balls, the profile balls, which would just be the ones that go on top of the name, is what we're going to do is to have them check our website, because we'll change the color. So one day,
Single.
green might be I love pets, but the next day green can mean, you know, I'm single.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways we're going to be, you know, to be able to drive traffic to the site and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't see the nightclubs. It's a little dark. You know, they don't have a lot of tables. But our target is restaurants and coffee shops. That's our target right now. That's what the Kickstarter is geared toward. We want schools, universities, and businesses for sure.
Hello. Just a quick confirmation if I understand the business model itself. So the revenue will come from the sales of the Crash My Table card? That's right, okay. So the people will get or buy the Crash My Table card, and whenever they go to a restaurant or public space, they will put it on the table so anybody knows that he's available and open for conversation, right? Okay, so people will need to bring that card with them whenever they're in public spaces. So is the model as well that the restaurants offer a seating space specifically for Crash My Table, so people who sits over there, they already know that is open for conversation and the revenue come from that stream instead?
Yeah, they bring the Crash My Table tent. If they forget it, like what I was mentioning to this gentleman over here, that the restaurants can be CMT certified, where they bought Crash My Table tents from us, so the people can check to see if the restaurant has the Crash My Table tents. There is restaurants right now. There is restaurants that are creating tables. It's really popular in Austin. I don't know here downtown Dallas, but they're creating tables where people can sit. Like they'll have a designated table. That's cool. I love it. You know, we're all about making friends. So it just turns every table, every public location into a way to start a new friendship. But the restaurants will have the ability to either give them to their customers or sell them.
Just a follow-up question over there. Where are you today? I mean, in your journey, you're already out there. How many cards? How many people? What's the customer acquisition?
Yeah, we are like I said, we're fortunate to be able to present because we can take your feedback. We are launching next week our Kickstarter. We have prototype cards. These prototype cards do not even have the numbers on them. The next gen cards, these have not been distributed to the public. We've just been beta testing, prototyping with the public, seeing how it's been, communicating with the public to see how our mayor, we were on CW33, we only contacted a couple news channels. Within 12 hours, we were on the news, CW33. So if you check CW33 Crash My Table, you'll see it. Mayor of Fort Worth, I wrote her. She wrote back the next day. It's like, this is awesome. So we, before investing in large sums of money and you know, putting a lot of our time, we wanted to see. We believe it. I mean, my wife came up with it because she saw me crashing tables for the last couple of years. I go up to people, you know. I mean, I'll probably crash one of your tables today if you see me out there. So, so that's where we stand. So we're brand new. We haven't. So we did sell some, but we actually took the selling part off our site until we launched the Get Over the Kickstarter campaign.
Hi, right over here, right here. Aaron McClarty. So there's a really strong social impact narrative here, which I think is amazing. And I was curious, because it's low tech, how do you all plan on leveraging that? Because I could absolutely see you going after foundation grants and PRIs and MRIs, but you would need data collection and some way of narrating how you're facilitating the relationships, the continuity in the relationships and things like that. So I just wanted to learn a little bit more about that aspect of it, the impact side of it.
Yeah, part of the money that we want to raise through Kickstarter is to have the ability. So the way you earn points and achievements is you take a photo of your CMT. We'll have on our site the ability to submit your Crash My Table stories. So we'll be able to check when they did it, who did it. Now, eventually, yeah, could we have an app? But right now, we'll just have a quick form on our site that says, here's the photo, and it's gonna be, what do you call it, a little trust. If we catch them, you know, using their social media, when we get bigger, we can deep dive and say, yeah, you guys, you lied about that. That's not really, you know, you knew that person for 3 years. But we're gonna have the ability to collect that. So who was during that the Crash My Table? Who was involved in that? Their emails. So we'll have that data. We need that information to do the achievement and the rewards. So that's why the tent. So when they submit a story, they'll say, okay, here's the number to the tent, here's my email, and here's the photo, and then we'll have a couple other data collection points for that to be able to track that.
And we have time for just one more question, but if you do have questions that you weren't able to get answered, please feel free to stick around. The presenters will be here after the next presenter, so you can go up and ask them questions then.
And if you guys come up to see us and talk to us, we'll give you one of the prototypes. It doesn't have the numbers on it, so you can't participate. But if you come and see us, we'll give you one of the prototypes.
So I actually have two questions. So
Type one and out.
right. So first question is the way that this is you guys are envisioning this, people are bringing this to the table with them, or they go to the place and it's already there, which or both? Which one?
Both.
Okay.
Either the restaurant will have it, or the coffee shop, or they bring it.
Okay. Second question. I don't know the answer to it, that's why I'm asking the question. Let's say somebody sits down and more broadly than just making friendships, they want to make connections, okay? And so they go in, they intend to sit down at this, and they meet people. Let's say that they even meet one person, okay? Does that become a tax write-off? The meal. I don't know if it does.
I don't know, maybe that'd be cool if we become a tax write-off.
I'd be interested in the answer to that question.
Yeah, we are going to have protocols on the site. So a couple real quick ones we know is one is anytime you do Crash My Table, the expectation is nobody's paying for each other's meals. So we're going to have these. Two, if you're a woman and a guy and you crash a table, we're going to say on our new name test is going to have these. One of the things is if you're a woman and a guy and you crash a table, the woman should leave first and give her 5-10 minutes. So we have a couple, you know, we're looking at kind of rules or policies to Crash My Table. That'll help out.
Thank you so much.
All right, Crash My Table!
Excellent, thank you. We're off to a good start this morning. So this is our quick intermission. I'm just going to announce again because we had a few people trickle in. Welcome. Thank you for coming to 1 Million Cups. If you park in the back, please move your car. There's no parking there for any of us as guests. It's just for staff only. I'm going to take a minute to thank our sponsors. Today doesn't happen without having any coffee. We have 2 coffee sponsors today. Brazen is our first sponsor, and we also have High Brew in the back. So they've got the cold brew. They're only here once a month. So if you do want to try that coffee, please go ahead and grab your can. So I do want to welcome actually to the stage Jasmine, who many of you may know from Launch DFW. She's our sponsor today, and actually this entire month, with a company that's called Brazen, that's empowering women entrepreneurs. Come on to the stage, Jasmine, and tell us a little bit about what you're up to.
Hi everyone. started several businesses, but about a year ago I joined Launch DFW as CEO. I kind of joined Launch because I had started several businesses and thought kind of what's next, and being able to tell stories is really exciting. So one of the stories I think that is often not told is the actual female entrepreneur. Really right now, what the current landscape is that we've got a lot of women starting businesses, but just a lack of resources. And so an interesting stat is that if every woman-owned business grew by 1%, the Texas economy would grow by $1.3 billion. And why I say that is that women being successful with their businesses impacts everyone. And so I met a VC last fall. She's an entrepreneur and a VC from St. Louis. And for the last 4 years, she's been building a really cool, really unique initiative called Brazen. It's launching across the country this month. As a serial entrepreneur, I don't always like to go to networking events because they always seem very focused and social, and I have like payroll, I have expenses, I'm trying to figure out how to balance it all. And so the reason why I thought Brazen was really cool is it's business first. So it's 85% business, 15% social. And the only way we can actually move the needle forward is to have more successful businesses. Just looking at funding alone, women-owned businesses have grown substantially over the last 10 years, but yet we only still receive 2% of all VC funding. And if you look at women of color who started businesses, they represent 71% of all growth, yet they've only received 0.02% of all funding. So that means it's all of our issue, right? It's not just a women-owned situation, it's not just an entrepreneurial situation. If we all work together to move everyone's business forward, I think we'd be successful. So I'll be hosting an event next week. I'm actually hosting a breakfast this Friday, but I just was told it was sold out. So if you're interested, I'll be around. I can give you some cards. This is for both men and women, by the way. We need everyone to be involved with this. I'd love to see you next week. I'm hosting a little preview event if you want to come, or if you'll be at a state of entrepreneurship, I'll be there tonight too if you want to grab a drink and learn more. Thank you.
Yeah, so as another reminder that the State of Entrepreneurship is happening this evening, and actually Mayor Mike Rawlings is going to be speaking there as well, along with a long list of people, including Jasmine from Launch DFW and Brazen. So if you have not registered yet, we do welcome you to go to the Dallas Startup Week website, and you can go to the org to Eventbrite, and you can find the State of Entrepreneurship information there, and register, purchase your ticket. It is $10 if you buy in advance. If you show up at the door, it is $20. And that is happening at the Majestic, I believe, Majestic Theater at 6 p.m. And it goes till about 9. So let's thank our other sponsors. We are in the Dallas Entrepreneurship Center, which is a space that's been donated to us to use for 1 Million Cups. They are a separate organization, and they offer free co-working every Wednesday in these desks in the back. So we are thankful for being here. Thank you so much. We also want to thank our video sponsor, Michael K. Bruno, standing just to my left. You're right. So thank you, Michael Bruner, for being here and for capturing the video for us. We do appreciate that. And we also have Kurtu, who's usually with us. They provide treats. They're here pretty much 3 times a month. Unfortunately, we're not able to make it to this, but next time. So round of applause for all of our sponsors, please. We're going to welcome our next presenter, who will also have 6 minutes to present, and we will start clapping right at the 6-minute mark, and then we'll have our Q&A. So welcome to the stage from PnP Loyalty, we have Evan Brody.
Good morning. My name is Evan Brody. I'm the founder and CEO of PnP Loyalty. PnP Loyalty is a customer engagement platform built as a module for retail and restaurant chains. We deliver the right offer to the right person at the right time, because that leads to more visits and more items purchased per visit. But where we're really trying to get to is creating remarkable customer experiences at restaurants and retail stores. So some of the challenges in the industry, whether it's loyalty, customer engagement, whatever you call it, bad customer experiences. So a lot of friction, filling out forms, carrying around cards, jumping through hoops or emailing offers you may have. For the restaurant side, it's just giving away profits, this dilution. So 10th one free, it's really 10% discount. But the real issue with these offers is that the people that are redeeming it at the highest level, they would pay full price anyway, so it's money just given away. And then point of sale integration, always a challenge getting data out back into these legacy point of sale systems. So as I mentioned, we built our platform as a module. That simply means that we can take data from any source, push it back to any other source. This is important because that experience can be whatever's best for the customer, not force fit into what our platform is. So our platform has a lot of features. Of course, we have the loyalty component, so points-based, visit-based, kind of any construct you want. But it really gets interesting with our behavioral analytics and our segment builder. So the ability to build a segment with all of your customers' data, understand the behaviors, and then apply rules and challenges. So if I want to look at millennials for the last 90 days, came in for breakfast, spent at least $5 a visit, ordered coffee, and I want to help drive my afternoon traffic, send them off for the afternoon, or maybe the weekend, or maybe a breakfast sandwich with that cup of coffee. An example of a challenge would be, hey, last 90 days, customers who came in 3 or fewer times, spent at least $10, come 4 times next month, 5th visits on me, or maybe come 3 times in a row, or however you want to build it. And of course, we have the ability to communicate with them via email, SMS, or if it happens to be in an app, we can do a push notification. So where are we today? Our first product we launched about 3 years ago was a tablet-based experience. So we have a partnership with Epson. We have some custom firmware on the receipt printer. We load in that receipt printer. We have a customer-facing tablet. When you walk up to the counter, your cup of coffee, type in your 10-digit phone number. We grab the data from that transaction at that receipt printer, attach your phone number, award you your points. If you had an offer available, once you type in your 10-digit number, it's available right there. Hit boom, free cup of coffee, get your cup of coffee free, walk away. This is in about 760 convenience stores today. We'll probably add another 100 here in the next year. Our latest product that we just launched recently, under a brand we created ourselves, it's called Get Perks At. It's a QR code-based solution. Very similar format in that we use that same smart printer, different flavor of that firmware. That receipt gets printed with all the transaction data. We grab it at the bottom. We add a call to action and a unique QR code. If you have an iPhone with iOS 11 or beyond, or any QR code reader on your phone, just hold it over the bottom of that receipt, follow the link, and if it's your first visit, quick registration, earn your points. If you have an offer available, redeem it right from your phone. There's no app required. You don't have to download a new app for every place you go. It's all mobile web, pretty seamless, pretty easy there. I'll talk a little bit more about this at the end. Where are we heading? So talking about that remarkable experience, I think you can go beyond just having to take an extra action. So imagine walking into a restaurant, you get seated at your table, before your server even shows up, pull out your phone, order your first round of drinks. Server shows up with your drinks, place your order for your meal with the server, or off your device. When you're done, just walk out. At that point, all that data comes back up to our tool so that those restaurants can then retarget you based on what you will actually want or challenge you and so forth. So we're working with a couple partners on this. Hope to have this launch this summer, but we think that is truly a remarkable experience. And there's a lot of trends that back that. When you talk to customers, everybody wants this ability because it's really annoying when you're ready to leave and you can't find a server. Or when you get to a place, it's happy hour, there's 10 minutes left, and the server shows up 15 minutes later. Customers are already used to redeeming offers off the phone, and then when you talk to restaurants, the top 3 items that they look for are going to be customer, or that they're going to focus on the next coming years: customer ordering solutions, loyalty solutions, and then payment solutions. So this checks all 3 of those boxes, gets almost 100% of restaurateurs. We have a great team. A lot of us have been together for almost 4 years. Great set of advisors, a lot of great mentors that have helped us along the way, including the deck. This is where we got started. And then lastly, going to end with some free stuff. So like I said, we launched Get Perks At. This is our own platform. We've got 4 locations up and running so far. If you go to any of these URLs, you can sign up and get rewarded with some free stuff. Ellen's is right next door, about a block. We're working to get them going today. It may not be till tomorrow, but we've got Latin Deli about 3 blocks that way. Really great restaurant as well. So go sign up, check it out. We'd love your feedback.
Okay, so now we're going to do Q&A. The first question that we're going to ask is, what can the community do for you?
Yeah, so we would love, one is just feedback, right? So if you could go and sign up for this, go through the experience. This is kind of our test for how this works, trying to simplify it, and then go support our early pilot groups. And then also we will take on in this pilot set some more restaurants. So people that own restaurants have an interest in launching this, we'd love to talk to them.
Great presentation. I had a couple questions about competitors. So I would assume Ziosk, the people who are already kind of in the restaurant space and making it more convenient. Do you see those as competitors or complementary products? Stuff like Squarespace or the ones that's on all of those things.
Yeah, so there's two groups. There are a lot of competitors in the loyalty space. I mean, there's the big difference, as I said, is we're built as a module. So to speak, most of those competitors, they either force the restaurant to create their own app, which is a white label version of their platform, and that's the only way it works. You can't add it to an existing program. You can't build a program around it. Or you've got kind of the very legacy ones where they're very rigid systems and they only work one way. Now on the other side, there are others that we see as partners. So Absent being one of our partners, some of these order and pay at the table companies being some of our partners. And we're really just attaching our customer engagement module on the back end of that. So data comes in, we push back, hey, these are the offers you deliver. But yes, very, very competitive space. We feel we're going forward, we're focusing more on that customer experience, which I think is a miss. There's a lot of really bad experiences out there. And if you focus on the customers, if you really want to go there, it was a great experience, and then I get a benefit of they send me offers and communications that make sense with me, I think that's going to grow. And also from the restaurant side, I mean, most of these, when you do the analysis, they're hemorrhaging money. I mean, my background, which I didn't talk about, I ran a restaurant chain for a couple of years, Which, and when I talk to the franchisees, I'm giving out tons of coupons, and I'm getting tons of redemptions, but I'm making less and less money every month because it's the people that were going to come in anyways. You just gave it away for free. You're not driving them to change behavior, and that's where we really focus. So, what am I buying today? How do I get you to come back in to buy it more often? And how do I get you to add another item to that? And usually it's stealing from a competitor because people aren't going to eat more just because you have a coupon, but they may come to you instead of your competitor.
Hi, my name is Spencer with Brandwagon Digital. You kind of answered the question a little bit. I already have the mic up. So, and again, when I first heard your pitch, I was super skeptical. It is a super saturated marketplace. I think 5-Star, a few years ago, they got tens of millions of dollars in funding just to expand their sales force to market their product. But having said that, you have over 700 accounts now. So that's actually really impressive. There are a lot of similar bootstrap companies who don't make it anywhere close to that. So talk to me about the ways you're able to get creative and find success in such a saturated marketplace.
Sure. There's a couple things. So 5-Star is interesting because they're kind of that mom and pop space. Very difficult space. You need tens of millions of dollars to grow on that. We've really focused on the partner channel. So our Get Perks Ads platform, we are funding a pilot ourselves in 20, but we never plan on raising tens of millions to go sell that. Absent being a big partner of ours, they're actually taking that and pushing that down through their bar channel. People already selling the hardware, this is a nice add-on for them. Our other products, it's more focused on on that enterprise side and using our partners who are already going in there selling the order and pay at the table, the mobile online website, ordering websites, things like that. And we're just another feature. It's like, hey, you're collecting all this great data that's just naturally flowing through because you see every item someone orders, you know who they are, what time of day, what location. We can help you target them better versus just blasting your entire email list with that same offer. So that's how we're going. It's very much through the partner channel. Being a Dallas-based startup, we're not going to get tens of millions of dollars to go door to door, and we really don't want to be in that business. It's a completely different model. We're trying to position ourselves as a software company, not as a sales company or a sales organization.
Any other questions?
Can you tell us a little bit about your journey for the past couple of years, like from when you got started and perhaps some of the lessons that you've learned and roadblocks that you've had along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. So I got started, I guess a little background, I spent a lot of time at 7-Eleven. I ran a couple of the brands, and then I kind of ended there in this digital guest experience, trying to lead some of the strategy there. Had a lot of frustrations, and I always thought there was better, easier ways to do it. Went over to Which, kind of same frustrations, even though it's a smaller company, and wasn't that true startup mentality. mentality. So I just got to the point where I said, I think there's a better way to do it. I had saved up some money, dove into it. I got very fortunate. I met my CTO pretty early on, so we were able to build a really great platform. There was a lot of luck along the way. My Epson relationship was literally, I always knew the biggest challenge was point of sale integration. I didn't dive into it because I didn't have a lot of time, but we can get data from any point of sale as long as you can print an Epson printer. And that's a big advantage when we talk about getting out there. We don't have to go through a 3-4 month integration. We just put that printer in there. So that was, I cold called them for like 3-4 weeks because I had heard they had this new technology that they're working on. We were doing it ourselves with kind of the old black box where you put it in between the point of sale and the receipt printer, but that's a support nightmare. So really just pushing through, we got in an accelerator. It was very helpful, RevTech. You guys are familiar with it, really great team over there. And just is a struggle. Raising money in Texas has been a huge challenge. We had a seven-figure deal out of the gate and couldn't raise money, or raise very little money, which if we were on the West Coast, it's like with the ideas we had on the napkin and our Epson relationship, we could have raised millions. So it's tough. It's rewarding to do your own company, but it's a grind. Ben, who's my CTO, sits in the back. He could tell you as well. Not a lot of sleep, especially at the beginning. And we have some really massive partners, and you would be surprised. You think limitless resources, great big partners. They lean on us to do stuff. We've actually had to build a lot of technology for them because they just, they're big companies. They don't want to spend any money. So I don't know how to answer the question. I rambled a little bit, but it's just, you kind of just dive in and you figure it out. I think that's part of being a startup. You get scrappy, you figure it out. How do you do stuff inexpensively? How do you just get stuff done? And we just don't ask questions. There's a problem, we'll solve it.
Love it, man. I really appreciate the background, getting to know you a little bit better and understand the story. So my biggest question would be, what are you most excited about as you look forward? Because you're working on a lot, right? And also, what is your biggest challenge area? Where do you need the most help?
What I'm most excited about is where we're heading, because I think we started out, the problem we were solving was how do you get data out of a point of sale system and so that you can actually do something with it and do a better job of retargeting. Because one of the biggest issues I had, I was at Witch, right? About 20-25% of the people coming in there are buying vegetarian items. Yet our email blast was always about the Philly cheesesteak, the Reuben and stuff. So it's just because we didn't have the data. That was a challenge we were solving then. And we solved that as great. That's what got us the first few deals. Now we're really focused on that customer. Right? It's a real pain, even with this QR code solution, which I think is pretty easy because I can take it and do it at home. It's still an extra step. But how do I solve the other problem, which is I walk in a restaurant, it drives me crazy. I get in there and I can't find anyone to place my order. I want to refill. I want to leave. Right. So we're solving that. We learned a lot with some of our big rollouts on hardware. So I think Zioski's done a great job of what they've done. But that is a tough model. You've got hardware that breaks when it's in a situation, but versus it's someone's device. It's up to them to have an internet connection and that device to work. But overall, I think I'm excited because we're focusing on that customer experience. We're trying to make a better experience, and you kind of better on twofold. It's better, I come in, have a great experience that day, and then when that restaurant reaches back out to me and talk to me, it's for stuff that really benefits me and gets me excited and wants me to come back in. We've borrowed a lot of our rules engine or our challenges from what Starbucks has been doing the last couple of years. They're pretty smart in how they're doing it. We've just made it to where anybody can go in there, a couple of drop downs, and you've got very complex rules built and send out to any size segment, any behaviors you want. Looks like I forgot the second part of your question.
Biggest challenge area?
Biggest challenge has been resources, really. We are doing a lot. We're trying to focus on where do we go with the little resources we have. We can't do it all. There's tons of opportunities, so we have to make some tough decisions on, hey, are we going to chase this deal or this other one? We've been smart about how we built our platform. Like I said, it was a module, and we use We use our own APIs for that. So when we're building up, it doesn't matter which project it's for, it's all the same system. But it's still, we've got to double down on the spot and hope we make the right decision.
We have time for a few more questions, 2 more questions.
Can you tell us why you choose to stay in Dallas? I mean, it sounds like you had some West Coast opportunities. Can you speak to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons. Our biggest client is actually the West Coast, which is, I think they got a lot of airline miles and those are the programs. But I like being in Dallas. I think it's a great city. There's great people here from a reason. If you put money aside from an investment side of that, there's a lot of great resources, a lot of great places like the deck, a lot of great accelerators. They're not competitive with each other, which is also good, so you can double, triple dip all you want. From a restaurant and a retail perspective, Dallas is, if not the biggest, one of the biggest and best places for that type of business. A lot of those customers are here. And as we go to this next phase where we're more focused on restaurant, I mean, just go a little north of here and there's just tens of thousands of locations controlled out of this area. So it's a great city. I grew up not far from it, so I like being here.
Good. I wanted you to promote Dallas a little bit to the audience here because
Glad I'm not moving.
Dallas is in a great position right now for entrepreneurship. Another question is on the tip of my tongue, and it's coming to me. Sorry, Evan. I can't remember. Does anybody else have another question?
I didn't put it on here, but my email is just evan@pnployalty.com. Feel free to reach out to me. Any feedback, if I can help guide you if you're starting your own company, I can tell you some of the challenges
I just remembered.
I've been through. Happy to give some advice.
Do you have an exit strategy? Like, do you want to be bought by another company, or do you see yourself growing this and just staying in it for however long?
No, I mean, we obviously want to build it up and exit. That is our plan. I don't know that we're focused on exactly where it's going to go. We've actually, along our way, a couple of our partners have kind of made offers for that. It just wasn't the right time. We like being able to make all the decisions ourselves and chase stuff, because some of the decisions we've made, if we were acquired by another company, we couldn't have made those. They probably didn't make sense at the time. We got lucky, some of those have paid off. Where we're headed, we actually have some really great partners in that, so we'll see where that plays out. But yeah, this is true startup. It's not, in 20 years from now, we may or may not be doing this, but eventually, and we have a lot of investors, so they'd like to see us sell. So.
Any other questions?
Hello, my name's Jeff Kinney, and I came across your product in Toasted, which is actually a really nice place. If you guys haven't seen it, it's all around Skill. No, it's not Skillman. It's
Ross and Greenville.
Ross and Greenville, yeah, and a really nice place. And I'm going to give you a suggestion, and you already know this, and to the point where you're not even going to listen to me, but keep it simple. I mean, way simple. I mean, if you have to go through 2 screens to get to where you make a connection, that's too much. Make it 1, make it half a step to get there. Just your competitive edge will be having it really simple at the customer level.
No, I appreciate that. You're absolutely right. In this, like I said, this is a new platform. When it comes to the resource thing, that's our challenge, right? We've got a list of stuff, but it's 100% that onboarding needs to be instantaneous. There can't be extra steps. Any step you add, you lose tons of people. So there are opportunities in that one, and that's a big reason why we're moving towards this just being a part of another experience. So there's not even a step; it just naturally happens. But yeah, Toasted was our very first one, so a lot of opportunities there. But they've been a great partner for us.
Thanks.
And that's all for the Q&A. If you guys have any more questions or want to speak to any of the presenters, you can see them at the end of the event.
So that is the end of our show, but you're not asked to leave. We want you to hang out because networking is part of this event. So we usually just hang out in this space here. You're welcome to stay and co-work if you'd like, or of course Dallas Startup Week is going on, so you can go to the website dallasstartupweek.com and check out the schedule there. A lot of great activities, and then as a reminder, the State of Entrepreneurship is happening tonight at the Majestic Theater at 6 p.m. We want to thank all of our sponsors again, and we want to thank our presenters as well. That was a great morning. Please stick around and ask the questions you want, hang out a little bit. There's still more coffee and high brew. So yes, thanks everybody. Looking forward to meeting you. And Jasmine is here if you want to talk about Brazen and learn more about that as well. There's a lot of guys in the room this morning, I just noticed. Wow. There's probably only about 10 women in here. Unbelievable.
But they needed it though. They needed it.
All right. Thank you.